We've already mentioned in this module's overview that we're going to move away from the idea that a context is a singular thing and is instead composed of multiple contexts. Before we move on to learning about different contexts, we're going to spend a little time focusing on this idea. First, let's talk about what we mean when we say the word context. We can think of a context as that which surrounds or frames a writing task. In the broadest sense, we can think of context as the where and the when of a writing task. The use of where and when can be a little misleading here if we are thinking of context as a singular sort of container. But if we try and complicate our sense of where and when, then we can quickly see how we are working with multiple contexts in any given case. Let's look at an example. Say I'm trying to publish an academic paper in an electronic journal. In this example, what might we mean when we are talking about the where of publication? As we start to think about the where of this publication, we can see here that we are working with at least three contexts. First, this journal is online, which may influence how the text is constructed. Will it be multimodal? Will it be organized like a website? Or will it look more like a conventional paper hosted online? Second, the publication would exist within an academic journal. Academic journals carry with them certain expectations regarding the type of language used, how sources are cited, and what sorts of purposes are acceptable in a publication. Third, the publication would exist within a disciplinary journal. Each discipline is going to have its own history of ideas, norms, and other ideological structures that will shape what is acceptable for publication within its journal. So, once we start thinking about the where of context, we can see that there are multiple contexts operative. The same works for the when of context, and we'll talk about that in depth in this module. For now, I'd like you to go into the rest of this module thinking about how context is a broad conceptual category. In any case of written communication, there are going to be multiple contexts that frame and shape that communication. Over the coming module, we'll learn more about these types of contexts and how they work.